Alright guys, thanks for waiting. We are back. The game has loaded successfully. And apologies for the ghetto production value at the moment. It's the first time working with co-caster via Skype, so I forgot to add him to the spectator mode, so he was on a slight delay.
Just a little bit.
Really sorry about that.
I definitely won't be making any calls, that's for sure.
And if you do, then you are a god.
Yeah, then I'm just super clairvoyant and I can see the future. But unfortunately, that is not the case, so I will just be following your lead.
Yeah.
Looks like most teams are just kind of heading out to their general lookout spots. Pretty normal early game stuff.
Yeah, this is just the standard fill the other team out line of scrimmage. YPBoys said that they were going into this tournament pretty blind in terms of their research. I mean, obviously they knew to ban Sejuani, so they're not totally blind, but they don't really know anything about the other teams in terms of their playstyle.
Yeah, and I think that's just more exciting to watch, man. Gotta just, everything's unexpected. Kind of like this whole setup, but hey.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited to see these two teams duke it out.
Yeah, Fizz is still chilling in base. I guess he's waiting for another potion or something, another consumable.
Yeah, that's an okay play. I mean, if he's not really needed to keep vision, he's no real reason for him to be in lane, and he can follow the minions out without really losing any CS.
Okay, so both junglers are going to get their standard leash. Mundo helping out for not. Bot lane going to be a little late on the red side as per the usual because they have to help Elise. Here we go, standard 2v2 lanes and 1v1s. Again, this is winners semifinals in the LoL Summer League brought to you by Esports Hawaii. Once again, I am Dark M, joined by Kevin Allen.
Hi there.
And this is pretty big stakes. The team that takes this set will guarantee themselves a top 3 finish, meaning they get a lot of prize money as well as free passes to the final event at the Gamer Expo.
Yes, which is going to be a pretty big event, and it's we're looking for a large amount of people have already bought in. So I mean, it's going to be a cool event, and League is going to be pretty much on the main stage. This final tournament, or the final rounds, will be one of the bigger events there. So that's going to be really exciting,
especially with our guest appearance by Curse Academy. I want to thank Curse Academy for being gracious enough to fly out and teach Hawaii a little bit of League of Legends. Do a little meet and greet, and there will be an exhibition match, I believe, as well for the winners of this tournament.
Yeah, there definitely will be.
Definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of these players.
Yeah, even more of a reason for these guys to fight it out as much as they can. If they win, they can play against Curse Academy, and that's really kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, so taking a look at the lanes right now, blue team is shoved up pretty nicely, and both the junglers are still playing really passive. They're just farming up. Nautilus known to have one of the slowest clear times going around for the first time, so he's not going to be ganking anytime soon. Elise, though, is a different story. As run on empty, it takes a little bit of harass from Braum, but Caitlyn a little too far away. And it looks like both of these AD carries are just content to farm, not bothering harassing too much.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait for their junglers to kind of make those plays, and you're right, Nautilus definitely won't be gracing any lanes with his presence for a while, but man, when he does gank, Nautilus is an amazing ganker, especially when he hits 6. His ult is just so good for confirming kills.
Yeah, that's going to be party time for sure. Elise makes her way down to the blue side tri-bush, and the blue team is not aware of it. Stand behind me comes out from Braum, and here comes the gank. The Chompers are going to try to stop their advance, but they are not in a good place to do so. He does manage to flash out. Nice moves by Soulstar, and RD Waffles is here for the counter initiate. And there's the hook landing onto Justin, and all summoner spells are getting blown. Worldy's Jimmy tanking a lot of damage. Oh man, that Braum pick coming in so handy right now. He just ate up so much damage as they kited back, and no kills, despite all that action.
Yeah, I actually just got to that part. So
that was crazy.
I'm pretty far behind, but I'm looking at it now, and you're right, it is pretty crazy. I'm getting a replay right now, I guess, technically. Yeah, no, that's what we were talking about. That Braum, I mean, he's going to be able to suck up just so many hits. He's going to be able to suck up hooks. He's going to be able to suck up essentially anything that comes from Jinx. It's going to be really good for Caitlyn. She's in a pretty safe place with Braum no matter what.
Yeah, and in that exchange, Jinx lost all her life, pretty much, because the gank initially went on to her.
Yeah.
And she took further post gank, so she needed to recall. It's really bad for the blue bot lane as Thresh can't really last hit safely without taking a bunch of damage. And already Braum carrying his weight, so to speak.
Yeah, he's good at it. I mean, he's a bulky dude. He can carry a ton of weight. He's probably going to carry this entire team by the end of this match.
That is definitely a possibility. Taking a look at the CS across the map, it is actually pretty even with the exception of bot lane. Understandably, because Caitlyn had so much free time after that gank. But she is recalling now, so Jinx will get the opportunity to farm about a wave and a half. Okay, we see DIT coming into the mid lane onto Django, but he's just gonna hop, skip, and a jump with the C4, and that's gonna keep him safe.
Yeah, and really, YPBoys, actually, they have all of their characters have a ton of survivability. They have a lot of ways to kind of get out of really sticky situations. Even Gragas can just jump over a wall with his dash.
Yeah, the mobility advantage definitely in YPBoys' favor, and it's really going to give them an edge in scrimmaging and just making plays when it matters, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
In the last match yesterday, in what was Punpak and I'm a Hero, they also had a mobile champion in Yasuo, and the mid for Punpak ran circles around I'm a Hero with his mobility, and it was very painful for them, I think.
Yeah, that's a huge factor for these games, and especially when you've got two heroes that have hooks. I mean, it just makes it even harder for them to land hooks when each of the enemy heroes have some sort of way of moving extremely quickly in one direction.
Yeah. Okay, so taking a look at the items on the first backs, Fizz started out with the with no Doran's rings. He has 2 now, and the flask, and an amp tome to go along with it. So he is going for kill potential right now, not interested in building up anything else. And a good MR pickup plus the magic regen off of the chalice for Ziggs. It's going to make him very happy with that blue buff.
Yeah, but no, Fizz is definitely just going for kill potential. He wants to kill something.
Yeah. We shall see. We'll see if Fizz decides to try to roam as well. Also, it should be noted that the teleports are unavailable for both top laners. And oh, there we go. Justin get jumped on again. Braum jumps immediately into the line of fire, and he takes about half the damage that Justin probably would have taken.
The thing about Braum, I mean, he can jump straight to his AD carry, and he can just defend it so much with that shield. He's a broken champion. I mean, he's pretty insane.
Oh wow, Justin getting caught out super deep, and he is tanking the turret. Big misplay right there by Justin. I don't know why he was so far up. And Thresh did not appreciate the disrespect. He just went for the hook straight in his face and got the first blood. Easy kill. And a big turnaround point for RD, because their bot lane was behind, and now it's going to be pretty ramped up now with that kill onto Jinx.
Yeah, you know, even with the Braum, I mean, if you catch hooks with your face, there's no chance of you not living.
See the top laners trading ultis right there. Not too big of a deal. These guys are both big, bulky guys that are going to want to take their time to get their power levels up a little bit. Looks like Gragas is going for that Rod of Ages, and Mundo going for his MR item of choice. It'll most likely be the Spirit Visage. That is Mundo's favorite item. See, at least making our way up the top lane, but Mundo, even though he doesn't have ult, there's no Ignite on Gragas, so I don't think they're going to get this in. She does just walk away.
Yeah, you know, again, both top laners are really difficult to kill. I mean, especially Mundo, though. However, when he has that ult up, he's almost invincible. But
it would probably take a roam from Fizz with his Ignite and his full combo to kill him.
Yeah, that could definitely do it, especially with Gragas. I mean, Gragas does add a lot of damage. He's a bursty AP guy, so he could deal some damage. But yeah, Mundo though is in a pretty safe place.
Run on empty, getting caught out a little bit, does get the hook on. Nice chompers to cover the advance of the red team. So, blue team playing well in the bot lane. They're ahead, and provided that there are no interferences from Elise, they'll probably stay ahead at this point. And we'll see where Nautilus decides to gank because he is level 6. He does have his depth charge locked and loaded, so we'll see which lane he decides to visit. Looks like it's going to be bot.
Yeah, he's a powerhouse, you know, with his ult, with his hook. I don't think a Brahm's going to be able... Well, actually, Braum should be able to block that ult, shouldn't he?
He should be able to, yes. It is a projectile.
So a well-placed shield will actually block that ult, and that would be pretty devastating for Nautilus, because he really needs to get that kill.
So good timing by the red team. They did manage to ward up the tri-bush in time. So Nautilus was spotted out and the gank was cancelled. Taking a look again at the CS across the board, it is still very, very even. Despite the lack of... oh, and just as I was saying that, here comes a catch onto Justin, and Nautilus rides the Lantern in, and he is causing all kinds of chaos right now. Blue team's still pretty healthy, but Justin has managed to reposition. Here comes the Ziggs ulti, and it's fly. Oh my goodness, they run back into it with the Super Mega Death Rocket on top of it. Nice hook by RD Waffles. That's going to be another kill onto the blue team as they go 1 for 0 in that very extended fight. And
all of that is just happening for me right now.
That bomb was next level. They walked into it as they kited back.
Yeah, that bomb, yeah, that he knew where they were going to be in that. Yeah, that was a really good hook by Nautilus. That's what I was saying. You know, Nautilus, he can really mess up a lane.
Red team really needed to respect the Thresh Lantern. Just because Nautilus is slow doesn't mean he can't just ride the Lantern in and close the distance. So.
Oh god, but is he slow? He is probably one of the slower characters in League of Legends.
Yeah, so that Lantern is probably going to be his best way in to everything.
It definitely is. And that's terrifying, really. Lanterning in a Nautilus, that's the last thing you want to see.
So just like that, we have a small gold lead for RD. They are taking the 2 YPBoys in the bot lane anyway. Fizz has not gotten any kill opportunities on his own. And he just can't really find the opening. Ziggs, again, very safe mid laner. Plays very far back.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd for the build that he was going for. It kind of looks like he wants to be migrating to other lanes and trying to catch out people with all of his burst that he has. I'm actually surprised that he hasn't come top or bottom. Both lanes would have been pretty good for a gank.
Good call by RD Waffles, though. He knows that the blue team just kind of cleaned up a long fight, so they were going to base. So they get a very... oh, I'm sorry, by DIT, rather.
Yeah, that was a very well-timed dragon.
Yeah, by DIT, my bad. That was YPBoys that got the dragon. That was very good call. Very, very good call.
That was a very close Mega Death Rocket. It was almost there.
Oh man, Jinx with a BF sword and pickaxe already. She is starting to get to that late game very, very fast. And only a BF sword for Caitlyn, so that's a full pickaxe up on him right now. But he does actually spend the money to get the level 2 boots. And on Caitlyn, the Berserker's Greaves are very important because Caitlyn is very attack speed oriented. So I'm not going to disagree with that buy. Some might argue that it would have been more worth it to go for like a Vamp Scepter or something, but...
Yeah, I think Caitlyn, it's okay to go into the BF Sword first. You really do want to get that Infinity Edge as fast as you can and try to get your crit damage up.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I meant the Vamp Scepter just for later on and just sit on it, along with
the
BF Sword. Yeah, instead of the level 2 boots.
Instead of the level 2 boots. Yeah. No, that would also have been smart, but, you know, you gotta get that attack speed. I don't blame it.
Shouldn't be that big of an issue.
No. Yeah, if you look though, Jinx actually has more CS than Caitlyn now. It's kind of turned the tables. For a while, Caitlyn was actually leading in the CS race, but now Jinx has about a 10 CS lead.
Oh, speaking of kill potential, there is the ulti, Urf onto Ziggs, but he does pop his barrier, so that will stave off all the ulti damage, and Fizz not feeling confident enough to dive that. So another mid lane reset there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just seeing that.
But yeah, so far Ziggs getting more mileage out of the laning phase. He ulted bot lane, got a couple assists. You know, he's been farming really well. He's actually ahead of Ziggs right now too, as expected with his wave clear. But yeah, Fizz not really getting a whole lot of mileage out of his laning phase.
No, I was actually expecting him to roam a bit more. I mean, He could have also tried to go onto the the Ziggs a bit harder, but yeah, I was expecting Fizz to definitely roam around a bit more and try to look for ganks, but he's definitely just been pretty content with that mid lane.
Yeah, right now both teams can't relax right now because the gold is dead even, 20k to 20k. The Dragon doing more than its share of equalizing the gold right there. Top lane continuing to be an island. Spirit Visage Mundo versus Rod of Ages Gragas, and they're just trading CS right now.
They're completely unassociated with the rest of this game. They're playing their own little game called Top Lane League of Legends.
Yeah, it's gonna be a matter of when they decide to TP in. That'll probably be where they make their first impact on the game.
Yeah, and that probably will be around next Dragon. I think will be the big decider in this game, unless a team fight breaks out.
So take 2 at the Lantern Express for Nautilus, but will not work out. He will get away.
Yeah, they have ordered that Tri-Bush, so they kind of knew that was coming.
And big power spike for Fizz right here. He has his Deathfire Grasp locked in. And that's going to really facilitate his burst combo if he can catch a target. Kind of fails his jump over the wall though, so that was a little scary. And it looks like the blue team is giving chase, and they catch onto Carbon Copy. And again, he flubs his E, and he's forced to flash out. And the depth charge combined with the Ziggs Mega Inferno Bomb will be enough to finish him off. So,
that's a lot of damage.
So two major chokes right there. He missed his E twice.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
The first one was kind of whatever, but the second one after he got hooked was the big one. And he burned his flash as well.
Well, you know, high stakes here. People might be misplaying a little bit.
Yeah, definitely nerves right now.
Just, yeah, little jitters coming to you.
And I would assume that he picked the Fizz into this comp because of the Mundo as well. The Seastone Trident does have the heal debuff on it. So just to mess with Mundo and his regen. So this could be a pick that he's not completely comfortable on. And they did ban out a lot of other mids. So.
Yeah, they definitely did. This probably was not his first choice mid.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, so that is still a third kill. 3-0 right now for RD. And they're up by a little bit, about 300 gold or so.
Yeah, the Dragon definitely helped out YPBoys. It kind of helped the gold stay close.
Yeah, still no turrets yet either.
No. People are really okay with just laning for the rest of the game. We're up to about like an 18-minute laning phase. Normally you'd see a bit more roaming going on, or at least people trying to take objectives.
I'm sure RD is definitely looking forward to the late game.
Yes.
Their late game is very strong.
Yeah, they definitely have better scaling characters.
That Braum shield looks so cool on that Dragon Slayer skin.
That's a very cool skin.
And when he puts the shield up, oh, that looks so cool. I love it. Okay, speaking of the Dragon, it will be up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's definitely gonna be the next big objective.
Yeah, there's gonna be a fight there, definitely. And whether or not the top laners will interfere or not remains to be seen. Because Mundo can't do anything to stop Gragas' teleport, but Gragas can stop Mundo with his displacement. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of positioning going on, and I think really it is going to depend on which top laner comes down and how fast he or she comes down. Kind of looks like Gragas is not too high on health right now, so it might not be best for him, though he's returning to base.
Yeah, you can definitely see RD is preparing, though, for the Dragon, because Ziggs has a blue elixir, which means that he's trying to power spike as much as possible. Jinx has also hit Infinity Edge, so that's going to be a big deciding factor as well. Only BF Sword still for Caitlyn.
Yeah, I'd expect Caitlyn to actually go back to base and buy new items. I don't think she has in quite a while. Oh, she is now. So we'll see what she picks up.
Here we go. The Dragon Dance has started. Red team just going to watch and let it go. I agree with this call, though. They did not have the they did not have enough power to go in there and challenge that.
Yeah, their positioning was definitely a bit off as well. Yeah, and Gragas really needed to be there, I think, to really stop this Dragon.
I agree. He would have needed to use his ulti and knock a priority target into their team.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They weren't getting that by walking in.
Definitely not. That's actually going to put the favor of this game much more into R9's favor. They've got about a 1,000 gold lead, which is actually pretty important in this earlier game.
It's all about the mind games. Who's getting the objectives?
Yeah, I was actually honestly surprised to not see Dragon Slayer Braum slay the dragon. That's not how that should have worked, I think.
See that Gragas is opting for the Frozen Fist, aka
Really?
the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's an item that I never ever see, but we'll see how it works out for him.
Yeah, I've not seen that on Gragas before.
Oh. Anyway. Okay, that was a little bit of a miscommunication right there. As the knockback from the Gragas exploding cast stopped the Fizz ulti from landing. But it doesn't matter, kill's still secured, so it's all good. The ulti was going to get used regardless. So.
Yeah. It actually kind of zoned Mundo out a little bit. He couldn't run towards his tower, he actually had to run towards the Fizz. So maybe that was totally planned, and they're just next level.
Good hustle by the blue team though, RD able to get bottom turret because Fizz showed top. So good reaction from the blue team. You always want to make sure if you're losing something to take something back and more if possible. And there you see Ziggs' sieging, anti-siege potential coming into play. He is ulting the top lane, soaked up all the CS, and Gragas couldn't take the tower.
Yeah, honestly, I think Gragas could have taken that tower. I mean, it was a few hits away. He could have just soaked up the damage. But better safe than sorry, I guess. And maybe he wants to throw a few more minions at that tower before Mundo comes back.
I guess he was thinking better safe than sorry there, but I think he definitely could have took it down.
He definitely could have, but it's at low HP. I mean, it's going to go down pretty easily now, so whenever they really want to take it, they can take it. Yeah, it looks like teams have just kind of receded back into their lanes, into their jungles. It's pretty slow going this game.
Yeah, I guess both teams are just really confident in their late game. Red team knows that they're behind by a little bit, and they don't want that to snowball out of control. But Fizz is pretty strong right now. I mean, he did get that kill. He's down by a lot of CS, but he does have a lot of AP right now.
He's got that Deathfire Grasp. That adds huge kill potential for Fizz, especially at 22 minutes.
Yeah, and it's at that phase in the game where Ziggs does not have Zhonya's yet. And the MR is only just starting to come out for the jungler, so he can still assassinate people at this point.
Yeah, he's really all in at this point. He wants to be roaming a bit more, I'd expect, with that Deathfire Grasp. But
okay, there's the gank coming in on top. Feeding time. Flash out by Mundo. Good flash. Gank averted. Nothing much to say there. Good attempt.
No.
Good
Yeah,
attempt.
you know, at least he showed a little bit. Showed some aggression. Showed that the other team should be wary of him. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that it missed. Fizz could really go for that kill at this point, but you get what you get.
Oh, Carbon Copy doing the okie doke, coming back into lane. Mundo has no flash. There's the heal debuff coming in onto Mundo, and he does not have ulti anymore, and down he goes. Sad Mundo.
Mundo without ulti or flash is dead Mundo, to say the least.
Yeah, that was the okie doke right there, where it's like, oh, gank failed, and then you just do the U-turn and you come back with a gank. Very,
you're
very
like,
well played right there.
You say it, you know, in chat, okie doke, and then you just come straight back.
Okay, so Greg is able to pick up the top turret. Blue team trying to pick up something else while they can. They do get the outer mid, which is going to help their map control. It's going to enable them to walk in and out of... Oh, Justin getting caught in his tilt over Peacemaker. Braum immediately jumps in as a support will do to try to protect him, but it was honestly too little too late. He should not have bothered doing that. He wastes his flash for his troubles, and he eats a ton of damage in the process. That's going to secure this turret for RD, 100%.
Yeah, and you know, Justin, he's been getting caught by a lot of hooks.
He has.
You really got to position yourself a bit more careful and warily when there's a Thresh around.
Yeah,
and a Noxus.
Can't be doing those laggy Piltover Peacemakers without creeps in front of you.
Yeah, that Piltover Peacemaker, it stops you, you know, for quite a few seconds. So you really got to be aware of where you are and where Thresh is when you do that.
But yeah, nonetheless, good capitalization by RD. They are looking very strong in this first game.
Yeah, it's 3 towers to 1. They've taken the other team's blue. They've got about a 2,000-3,000 gold lead. I mean, if they can keep this up, they can definitely win this game, especially with their stronger late game.
Yep. All these kills are just further facilitating their lead. Ziggs has Death Cap on deck. And, Spectre's Cowl coming out for Nautilus. And, double MR items on the way for Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely building much more MR. I feel like they're not very afraid of Caitlyn at this point. She's not doing so hot, so they're definitely trying to build MR to stop all of the AP on YPBoys team.
Well, here we go. Here's the dragon fight. Blue team is stronger. They take position, and red team's like, oh, just kidding. We didn't want that anyway. They immediately back up. That was a lot of Ziggs damage, by the way, just on one Q. Caitlyn and Elise are already about half-life.
Yeah, the red team definitely knew that they couldn't take that fight, and they just backed off, especially, even though actually the blue team didn't have Jinx that entire time.
Yeah, but they don't know that, so...
Yeah, it was a good idea to back off.
Yeah, red team posturing for this dragon, but this is definitely not the fight that they want right now. This will definitely spiral the game out of control if they contest this, I think. They're going to try to muscle their way in. Gragas is taking a position. Actually, run on empty, caught out of position, forced to flash out. Mundo trying to stay in the front, but he does get baited out by Fizz. There is the Ziggs ulti, though. And the AoE damage, again, this is not the fight that red team wants. They are not a AoE-oriented composition like the blue team is with the Ziggs and the Jinx and the Nautilus. And they just get cleaned up right there. That was mega free. And I don't really know why the red team tried to force that, knowing how behind they were already.
Yeah, I think their best bet was to try to catch someone out with the Gragas ult, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. And yeah, they just got cleaned up. The AoE on RD Boy, or R9 Boy is, or I'm sorry, it is RD Boy, or RD. RD. Yes. Yeah, the AoE on RD is, like, it's pretty ridiculous. They've got so much damage, especially from Ziggs, just by himself. Yeah, and they're spiraling out of control at this point.
Yeah, Fizz tried to come in and flank them from the side, and Mundo just cock-blocked him straight up. Just says, you shall not step further. Yeah,
that's Mundo's job, you know. He stops other people from going where they please. It's
yeah.
It's a talent of his, to say the least.
Yeah, and even though he stepped off to the side to block off Fizz, he still managed to get in the front and do work as well. But that fight was basically all just Ziggs ulti and AoE damage.
Yeah, the threshold as well. I mean, he kind of caught like three people, I think, inside of his cage, and that's just no good.
Yeah, definitely something I've been seeing in this tournament is that a lot of the teams have had trouble against AoE comps because they group up too much in team fights where they, basically hold hands together and they all eat the AoE at the same time. Definitely need to spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, just a bit more. Yeah, but that was just a bad fight for YPBoys. I just think they shouldn't have even tried to be there. Maybe try to take another objective or something.
RD Waffles is so tanky right now. Caitlyn is tickling him.
Yeah, he's got a fairly large amount of just normal armor and magic resist. So
and health. He has a lot.
And health
too.
by himself. Yeah, he won't be going down anytime soon.
So the outer turret top side will fall in favor of RD, and they are continuing to push the issue. Oh man, those Jinx rockets doing so much damage with that Phantom Dancer also completed. It's a lot of crit. And I noticed that Jinx also has early level 3 boots, so she will be moving very fast with every auto. Wally Rice stepping up, putting a little bit of damage out, but they quickly kite back as we see Fizz actually doing the split pushing on the side. Even without the Lich Bane, he manages to take that turret, and he's heading for the inhibitor right now. Blue team kind of caught with their pants down. They're going to try to recall and salvage this, and Fizz is already out. So good move by Fizz.
That was a very good play. I think the only thing that really blue team could have tried to do there was force that upper tower, but that didn't happen. So they didn't go hard enough for it, and now they're kind of paying the price.
Yep. Surprised that they
sent someone back.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't just force the issue.
Yeah, and I think even if they did, they could have won like any team fight because it was essentially a 5v4 at that point.
Yeah.
And without Fizz, the red team doesn't deal a lot of damage. Yeah, now everyone's just backing, buying up, looking for that next fight.
We'll see what Ziggs goes for next. It'll probably be Zhonya's Hourglass, I would imagine. He could go for a Void Staff, though. There are a bunch of MR items coming into play on the red side, so we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised either way.
Fizz just got his Zhonya, so fortunately he's going to be a bit more survivable. He won't be as all out as he once was.
Oh, and there's a catch onto run on empty, and this is what Fizz likes to do. Little hop, skip, and a jump, pops the box reactively, and yeah, they'll take that. That's a low health Thresh and no box, so not the best situation, but I think he'll take it.
Maybe you shouldn't have popped the box, I think. Generally, when you know you're going to die, you don't want to use your ult.
I agree, the box was a little bit of a panic. But it did keep him alive because it forced Fizz to stop moving forward, so...
I'm sorry, I'm so delayed actually. I thought he died. I was under the... Yeah, I thought he was just straight dead. Yeah, it's, you know, we're working with this delay. Esports Y, where it was a little ghetto.
DIT sweeping out some wards near Baron side, but that Baron pit is mostly covered by red wards, so... The YPBoys will not be caught unawares. Speaking of getting caught unawares, Fizz! Fizz! Why? That's the catch that RD was looking for. And Fizz goes down for the 4v5 power play advantage for RD, and they're going to get this turret.
Yeah, you know, it's odd when you see a Fizz actually get caught out, but unfortunately you can't just face check a bush like that. Especially with all the hooks on RD's team, they can really disable one of YPBoys' characters for a ridiculously long time.
Yeah, this is certainly a different way of sieging up, not necessarily by poking the opponents down, but just having the two big guys in the front just walk up and force the issue.
Yeah, both Mundo and Nautilus will not die and can tank up quite a few tower shots.
Yeah, not to mention they'll block like every single skill shot that's coming towards
they're like the hugest characters, right? It's pretty ridiculous.
Okay, guys. They're playing the brushy brush game. But at least Smart Spider sends the volatile spiraling into the bush first to check, so doesn't get caught out.
Yeah, you know, they wanted something. They set up a death bush. They were hoping another Fizz would face check it, but unfortunately not.
The Dragon is gonna be up right now. And blue team has been spotted out by that ward. That has been cleared out. Here we go into the fight. And Dragon will go down 1, 2, 3 for RD. At least getting caught out by the cleaver. And here comes the chase. There is a lot of chase on this team. Carbon Copy getting caught out. Again, the ward coverage. He walked right over a ward. So RD knew exactly where he was coming from. Talisman of Ascension getting popped out, but the red team is already out. But that's going to be more objectives, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that's a lot of dragons for RD. Just the global gold by itself is going to really... They're already quite ahead, but that's going to even put them even more ahead.
I think they only got... I think YPBoys only got one, yeah? This whole
They got one dragon. They got the first dragon, which kind of led it to being a tie. But unfortunately, RD, it looks like they're kind of spiraling out of control here. They got about an 8,000 gold lead at this point.
Oh, beautiful hook onto Justin by Thresh. The plays are, and this is going to be the game, 100% right here. That catch was beautiful by Run on Empty. And Wally Rice getting locked up. There is his flash. Belly slam away. Nautilus just zoning them out. And here comes Fizz from the side. He does pick up Thresh. And they actually don't get the turret. I'm a little surprised at the lack of coordination by RD after that beautiful catch and dive. You couldn't have asked for a better opportunity than that.
Yeah, that was an incredible hook. You know, running on empty, he's really running this Thresh quite well. And it did look like RD was actually kind of confused during that tower. It looks like they just kind of walked around it a bit, didn't even really try to focus it. And that kind of led to them not really securing any objectives, really, after that really good pick.
I think they got too excited when they stunned or they rooted Gragas, and they tried to go for him. And
Yeah.
then, just not enough
And
turret focus.
he's just a little too tanky, you know. It's really tough to take down Gragas, especially with this kind of tankier build he's going for.
Ziggs using his ulti to clear out the wave, and it will again be, resume pushing. Taking a look at the items across the board, good pickups by Soulstar, going for the defensive Banshee's Veil. That's going to do a lot for him. It's going to block Fizzfish, it's going to block Ace in the Hole if it has to. It's also going to block the Gragas ulti and Cocoon. So this is a very safe, respectable item when you're this far ahead.
Yeah, and you know, I was kind of hoping for more Braum plays. I feel like his shield hasn't come into any huge, or hasn't done a lot of really great things like blocking hooks for Caitlyn, or you know, blocking a lot of ults for the team. It seems like his shield's almost never there.
Yeah, he seems to always be one step too late to defend, and honestly, with his team being so far behind too, it's hard for him to make the plays. But yeah, he definitely needs to stand in front of Caitlyn because those hooks are magnetized towards her at this point.
Yeah, Run on Empty has definitely got his sights looking at Caitlyn.
Yeah, he cannot discredit the hook anymore at this point. Baron is now on the table for RD. This is the biggest throw, the biggest throw objective in the game. So we'll see if RD can do this dance correctly and get the fight that they actually want and not give up Baron themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to Baron with a Gragas. Gragas can disrupt Barons pretty well with his ult, so they're going to have to be really careful about this.
To be fair, though, the Gragas is going a little bit more on the off-tank build. He does have the Sheen, but he doesn't have the old Season 3 burst damage Gragas, so...
Yeah, he's definitely running a bit tankier of a Gragas, which is fine in this scenario. I think that's probably the right play.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to see the first time, where blue team would just take the wave in and then walk up and just start plugging away at the turret. They are really respecting the catch potential, though, of the red team. So as soon as the wave is gone, they do not stick around.
Yeah, the red team definitely has a lot of bursts, so it's even though they've got a pretty good lead, you definitely want to be a bit more careful about this.
And I don't want to say that the red team is out of it quite yet, because I think they have like maybe one last team fight stand in them at this point before the game becomes out of control and all their inhibitors go down. So they have to pick their fight very carefully.
They really do, and they have to, yeah, they've got to play that fight perfectly. They got to position really well, because right now, RD just has a pretty big advantage at this point,
Dude,
about 9,000 gold.
Dude, look at all the Banshee's Veils on the blue team. They're like, we are not getting caught out. We are not getting dislocated.
They're afraid of that Fizz, and I don't blame them. He's probably doing the best on YPBoys right now, so they're definitely playing against him.
Yeah, they definitely also want to avoid the Gragas ulti, which is also the party starter for red team. So blue team conceding a little bit of map control right there as red team gets to sweep through the Baron area and clear out wards. Yeah,
definitely not as many aggressive wards as I would have thought coming from blue team. I mean, they had a few in their jungle, but those were pretty easily cleared out. Generally, when you have this...
Here comes the fight, here comes the fight. Sorry, I know you're on the delay, but fight has already broken out on the Baron pit. TP in by Mundo, so that will stop any aggression from the red team, and they are immediately retreating. Sorry to cut you off right there.
No, it's cool. I'm talking about wards over here, and there's a fight breaking out.
it was like a mini fight. It was just like...
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. It's a bit of a scrimmage at this point. A few ults were used, though. Nautilus ult and the Braum ult were used, actually, so those won't be coming into play if they do want to try to Baron. Yeah, and yeah, that Mundo immediately disengaged everything. They saw that teleport in, and like the entire red team scattered.
Oh, Soulstar getting cut off by the Fizzfish, and he does have Zhonya, so he's still at full life. But can he get away? Yes, he does. He flashes out. Great play by Carbon Copy, and here comes the rest of the fight. Worldy Jimmy taking a lot of damage. The Ziggs ulti coming across, but Wally Rice is still alive. Blue team is actually kind of split up as RD George has his ulti running. He goes back in, actually, and here comes Django with the rest of his cooldowns back up. Carbon Copy not able to kite away. He does get slowed down and collapsed upon, and a very nice hook by RD Waffles. There's the Gragas ulti used very late in the fight, to save himself, but honestly, with the 2-3 dead for the red team, that does not matter. Very nice fight by the blue team. They really took their time. They played it patiently, and they weathered the storm of Fizz, even though he got pretty much all his stuff off and got out alive too.
Yeah, that was pretty good for Jinx actually, because you know you were making fun of how everyone bought a Banshee's Veil, but it really, I think that's actually kind of what saved her at that point. Fizz just used everything on her, and she lived, which is pretty surprising for an AD carry. Normally you expect them to melt.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't making fun of the players. I was actually very happy to see all the Banshee's Veils. It's just that you never really see that many at this point in the game. At least not like since
yeah,
like,
it's surprising to see
so.
to see 4 Banshee's Veil just straight down the line.
Yeah, just little shades of Gambit gaming right there.
Yeah, I'm half expecting one, or for Thresh to get one, just to totally complete it.
Yeah, he should. At this point, he should be a team player and get the fish Banshees.
Yeah, totally. Team Banshees Veil.
Okay, so that is going to be the inhibitor going down, of course, in favor of RD. And this game is basically theirs to lose at this point. It's still throwable, but of course, we all know it's never over till it's over. But with the inhibitor down, that kind of restricts the red team, to their base, and they probably can't contest the next Baron, because their base will just start dying.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for YPBoys to pull this one out. Yeah, as you noted, the downed inhibitor makes it really difficult to just essentially do anything outside of your base, because those super minions just deal so much damage.
DIT getting snared up a little bit by Nautilus, but yeah, and we say that RD is playing really well, but to be honest, YPBoys aren't playing horrible in these team fights. They're being very careful. And it's only because the fight goes on for like 30 seconds plus that they finally run out of steam because of the gold lead. But they're trying to navigate these team fights as best as they can. But here's a Baron for blue team, most likely.
Yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, no, yeah. YPBoys is definitely playing it pretty well. I mean, their positioning is okay, especially when they get kind of grouped up. They definitely get caught out a bit by all of the AOE damage that is on RD. And they should definitely try to play against that next game if there is an AoE team comp. But no, they're definitely playing well. I mean, they're strong players all around.
Interesting choice by the RD. They actually peel off the Baron when red team showed, so they're still giving the red team a lot of respect right now. They know what's on the line after all, and they don't want to drop this game if they can help it. But they will go back to the Baron.
I feel like they can force this Baron. I mean, with the lead that they have, there's a point where you can start being cocky, and that tends to pay off in the long run.
Oh my goodness. And the Baron goes over to the red team, and it is stolen by Gragas. Even without the AP of Death Cap and Death Fire Grass, etc., he's still able to pick it up somehow. I don't know what happened right there. RD Waffles didn't even smite. So,
that might have been it.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened right there. That was a huge brain fart by RD, and that might have been why they were so hesitant to do the Baron. I mean, they do get Gragas for it, but that's a lot of gold that could have went to them, and is now in the pockets of the red team. And it looks like they're going to do a push-up anyway. Hopefully this doesn't tilt them, though, and hopefully they can still play this correctly.
Yeah, I think they should be fine. I mean, they've still got quite the advantage. But that was a good pickup, at least. Hey, style points for Gragas. I mean, that was a pretty impressive play he just did.
13 seconds on Gragas to respawn. Not going to be quick enough as the inhibitor turret does go down. DIT getting flayed back. He's going to be forced to repel. And as soon as he falls down, best believe they're going to go for him. And the hooks do actually miss, luckily for him. Justin putting out almost negative damage to Mundo, unfortunately. And blue team is just going to do the rotation down to the bot side, clean up the last inhibitor turret. But RD George is actually starting to take a lot of damage now. Has the ulti ticking. We'll see if blue team can kite this back. They're actually kind of split up. RD George is regenning a lot. Super Mega Death Rocket does whip. Here comes the Earth from Carbon Copy. And the Django is going to fall. Soulstar should be the next priority target, and they are dogpiling onto him as he is running for his life. Flashes over the wall. World Eat Jimmy is over with him along with Carbon Copy, and this is going to be a clean ace for the red team. Good chase. good prioritizing of targets, and the Baron buff, you gotta believe, played a factor in that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted. If we were talking about a comeback, I mean, it would be pretty impressive at this point with both two inhibitor turrets down. But I mean, if they want to do a comeback, this is a really good way to start it.
Yeah, that is definitely the money fight that they were looking for, and it did start obviously with the blue team running a little low on resources. You know, they were running out of mana.
And maybe stayed for one turret too long, I think. They maybe shouldn't have just rotated bot and should have actually just left.
Yeah, Caitlyn started getting a lot of crit bonuses, and I think that actually got them low enough to the point where they could do something. And again, the Baron buff, we talk about how, yes, the lead is still very huge for RD, but the regen from the Baron buff would have really helped them out in that siege. So, good for the red team, bad for the blue team.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, good for us because it makes for a much more exciting match. And, you know, the red team does go to take the dragon, so they're looking for a bit of a comeback right now. Maybe they can pull this one off. I mean, they're going to get well, they got one turret, apparently, which was still alive, the outer mid turret. And they're going to get another inner mid turret, so, I mean, yeah, they could pull this one out.
Yeah, there are no other major objectives to farm on the map. Baron is gone, Dragon is gone. They both went to the red team. So this buys the red team a lot of time that they desperately need to catch up. Fizz now with a Lich Bane as well, and Lucidity Boots, so he wants to make sure that his spell cycles are up as soon as possible. It's a very gutsy move by him.
Yeah, and I think the red team's going to be playing a bit defensively, at least until that top inhibitor respawns.
Yeah.
And then they can try to make more plays outside of their base. But for now, they're going to be in their own jungle for quite a while.
Nice. Fizz with a Void Staff now. Just finished it. That is the item he desperately needed as well. So I can't call it anymore with these items. The teams are basically finishing their builds already on both sides.
Yeah, and they've really fleshed them out. But yeah, no, the Fizz, that Void Staff is going to be essential against all of these Banshees fail. Yeah. Also, like, all the other kind of random MR the other team has built, so...
Alright, here comes the all-in from the red team. Artie Waffles is the focus, and of course he is super tanky, he's eating a lot of damage. There's the Braum Glacial Fissure, gets a lot of knockups, and DIT is going really deep for Soulstar, and they are kiting back very well. Ziggs still untouched, good Super Mega Death Rocket to chunk down Elise, and this is looking like it's going to be the game. Valiant effort by the red team, but a good kite back by Ziggs and Jinx as well. Here goes Carbon Copy into the fray. He will probably pick up Soulstar, and he does. Pops the Zhonya's Hourglass, but the Ziggs, though, is a little too strong right now, and he's still at full life. Well, actually, they peeled off in different directions, and now Caitlyn is actually still alive. I thought that she had already been collapsed on, but she's doing a good job of orb walking backwards, but RD George does close the gap, and that is a huge factor in that team fight. Because Caitlyn went down, the fight is basically a stalemate.
Yeah, actually. Wow, I think we've called this game like 3 times at this point.
Yeah, I actually thought that was over when what's his face went when Elise went down and both the carries kited backwards so well.
Yeah, but man, this Ziggs, he got left untouched during that entire fight. He was just in the back lines chucking bombs, and you know no one was really around to get him, and they couldn't close the gap.
It's a little disappointing that Fizz got away. I felt like they probably could have got him. But the split focus is what really killed them, though. Caitlyn lived way too long.
Caitlyn lived way too long. I was surprised she didn't die first. This Thresh, run on empty has definitely not been hooking her as much as he was earlier this game.
I actually thought that Mundo was going to collapse on her a lot sooner. It took him a lot longer, though, because Caitlyn was spacing herself well in that fight. So yeah, this game again basically even for all intents and purposes, as you can see. They traded.
What is happening?
Yeah, they traded 3 for 3.
YPBoys has made a really impressive comeback. They were at one point they were about 13. There was a 13,000 gold deficit, and they've closed that to about 4K. So I think the next big objective is going to be Baron. The blue team definitely is going to be wanting to get that, seeing as how they really had this game in the bag for a while.
The blue team trying to end the game, you know, as much as possible, and it was a pretty safe bet walking into the base and just fighting right like that. But here comes a catch on to Wally Rice. He is the mega tank Gragas right now, though. He has Randuin's Omen. on top of his other items, so he's not going down anytime soon. And Nautilus needs to be careful about forcing fights when his team is not ready. Jinx is nowhere near in position, pushing out the mid lane, very far away from Nautilus right now. There's the flash in, nice hook onto Justin. We've seen that before, but this time Worldy Jimmy is ready to jump in the way, and Caitlyn is kiting on the outskirts against Nautilus. Wally Rice with a nice Gragas ulti to split up the carries, and we'll see if the red team can make something out of this. Ziggs ulti does catch on to a lot, and these guys are living for a very long time, but here comes the DPS from Caitlyn. She is still alive and at full life. She is doing very, very well right now. Worldy Jimmy going to critical health. Carbon Copy throws out the ulti. Does get the Zhonya's off with a magic pixel. Double kill coming down for Jinx right now as the red team is starting to fall back. And we'll see if the blue team can take advantage of this. That is a 2-for-1, and only the support went down for RD. Kevin, this could be the game.
I am currently watching this team fight.
This could be it, I think.
You think this could be it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe you after you've said it so many times.
We'll see if they decide to keep going. There's 40 seconds right now on the first res. And
yeah, the respawn
carries
timers are a bit too long.
Oh, it looks like they're just going to go for the inhibitors. They're not choosing to go for the turrets. So
oh
again,
boy.
They're playing it safe.
They're playing it very safe.
I don't know if I like that. I think that they could have taken the turrets.
Yeah, they could have at least taken the 2 Nexus turrets.
Yeah.
Which would have made it almost impossible for the red team to push out of their base.
It's a little too conservative for my taste, especially with Jinx and Ziggs still alive, and with both of their ultis back up. My goodness, the cooldowns.
The double Nexus take, however, will make it very easy for RD to take the Baron. It's going to make it almost impossible for YPBoys to stop that Baron with 2 inhibitors down.
Well, we'll see. They are going for the clear. They know that Ziggs ulti was used to clear the side waves, but Nautilus is coming in with home guard, so he's going to be there in time, I would imagine. Yeah, he's going to get there with time to spare at this point. Fizz is nowhere near that fight yet, as well as Braum. They are clearing out the super minions.
And YPBoys are just hanging on by a thread this entire match. They really don't want to give up.
Yeah, and these fights are going super long now because everybody's so tanky and fed.
Yeah.
Definitely very few glass cannon targets still left. Warmog's coming out for Jinx. Not so sure about that pickup. She definitely needs another attack damage item or something. Going 2 defensive items is a little too conservative, I think. Especially since they're only running a 2-threat comp with the rest of them all tanks. We'll see how it pays off in this fight, though. The Baron is going very low. At least repels into the pit, gets the Baron again. Are you kidding me? YPBoys can do no wrong when it comes to Barons. Oh, RD George with a salty flash over. He wanted to make something happen there. But they are going to kite this out, and they should be able to get away.
So salty. I would be salty at this point. That's 2 Barons.
That flash was so YOLO. He was like, you are not getting away with that for free.
Oh, he was so angry.
Yeah, here they come, though. Here comes the blue team. They're pushing in. They got the inhibitors down. And that is a death onto Elise. So the Baron buff may not matter at this point, as the super creeps are here. The Nexus is being focused. Run on empty is going to go off and distract the Fizz. Soulstar trying to hit the Nexus down, and he does go down, but the Nexus will fall. So that will be game 1 going to
Holy
RT.
guacamole.
The death timers just ended up becoming more costly than the Baron itself, so...
That was quite the game, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Our RD pulled one out, but it was really close. So
that was an intense game. Really good YPBoys. They really held on.